Bitcoin hitting its lowest level since January, and JPMorgan coming out with a note saying they're now seeing institutional investors selling their Bitcoin and getting back into gold. Joining me today to make sense of it all is Todd Bubba Horwitz of BubbaTrading.com. Bubba, welcome back to StansberryInvestor.com.
Daniela, always a pleasure to be with you, and I'm excited to talk about this today.
Absolutely. And we'll see where Bitcoin is at by the end of this interview. But as we're talking right now, down 20% in 24 hours, below 35,000. It's its lowest level since January. Most people saying and pointing to news coming out of China cracking down more on the crypto.
Well, I mean, again, there always is going to be news because, of course, these central banks around the globe are trying to control this cryptocurrency. They're trying to put a stall into these markets because they want to continue to control and manipulate currency. So, but in the meantime, China still got the warehouses full of servers, churning away, polluting, using up energy and making a bigger carbon footprint as they continue to make Bitcoin. But what they're really trying to do is they're trying to keep the thumb on top of their people, because Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general is the one way to move large sums of money, like on a thumb drive. You can walk right out of the country with it. So this to me is just a natural sell-off that you expected. You knew it was coming. The question was when, and it happens to be today.
Right. So we have the China news, but we also still have the tailwinds from Elon Musk tweeting about Bitcoin and how Tesla was removing itself from it. Do you think Tesla, despite what Elon Musk said, sold its Bitcoin?
He says he did not. So I have to take the man at his word that he did not sell his Bitcoin. I think what he's saying is he doesn't like the production and the carbon footprint that it creates because it defeats exactly what Tesla, the car, is trying to create, a cleaner environment. So I don't think he sold it. I think he believes in it. I think he'll be in others, but I think the machines running and the burning of electricity is why he said, hey, I'm not going to buy anymore. And I don't think we're not going to accept it as payment.
More importantly, Bob, and probably the bigger picture, it has, got people talking again about Bitcoin as a means and road towards asset preservation, wealth preservation. So a lot of people are looking at these moves saying, is it a wealth preservation vehicle or purely a speculative play?
Well, I think, look, I don't think anybody should take all their money and put it in Bitcoin, but of course, I don't think anybody should take all their money and put it in gold or silver either. I think it's an asset class that figures to be real. We have this constant battle for freedom away from the Fed and non-manipulated assets. And I think that's what Bitcoin's going to be. I think it will be, stored value is hard to call because you have nothing tangible in your hand. However, remember, if you're like in a communist country, you're trying to get out, you can't walk out with 1,000 ounces of gold, but you can walk out with the equivalent in dollars in Bitcoin. So I think it's going to be something that's used, and it's going to be a real currency. And if I were to say, okay, how am I going to break my portfolio down? Well, if I believe in 10 to 15% in precious metals, I'm thinking 2 to 3% in the cryptocurrency space. That's the way I would look at it.
Okay, let's wrap with what I brought up in the intro. JPMorgan coming out with a note today saying they're now seeing institutional investors pulling out of Bitcoin and going into gold. So a complete shift in narrative here. What say you, Bubba?
I mean, listen, gold's up $20 today. I think 16 now. I mean, it was down about 15. It's been extremely volatile. And I think that, again, I'm sure some of the money's coming out, but I don't think the real gold investor has yet discovered the cryptocurrency yet. I think that the real gold and the real silver investor, the real bugs, they're not believing in this cryptocurrency space. So I think JPMorgan is more or less trying to figure out a spot they want to buy more and creating some more panic in it. And I don't think that they're necessary to believe what they say. I mean, you go back to Jamie Dimon calling it garbage years ago, and yet they were always involved. So to me, that sounds like a potential play to push it a little bit lower so they could accumulate more for their funds that they're not creating.
All right. Always good thoughts from you. Todd Bubba Horwitz, come back anytime, StansberryInvestor.com. Thank you for your insights.
Thank you, dear. I appreciate it.
And thank you all for watching. Remember to share us where you watch us. We'll have much more coming your way on StansberryInvestor.com. That's it for me today. I'm Daniela Cambone.